Okay, so we're back doing this as a little intro to part 3 when the brother Jared gets his visit from Jesus and gets told that he's the first one to ever see Jesus. On our timeline here, we have that at the time of the Tower of Babel, when the Jaredites were leaving Babel and heading for America, 2200 BC, about 1,000 years after the visits of Jesus to the to the New World, as it's called, in Missouri, in Adirondack, at about 3073 BC, and before that even with Enoch building the city of Zion. So we'll jump right into the account with Ether now, out of the Book of Mormon, Ether chapter 3. Now, let's go to Ether in the Book of Mormon. Here's chapter 3, which is the big deal here. Chapter 1 tells us that in the summary here, Moroni abridges the writings of Ether. Ether's genealogy set forth the language of the Jaredites is not confounded at the Tower of Babel. The Lord promises to lead them to a choice land and make them a great nation. Here they're told that anyone on that land must serve Jesus Christ or be swept off. This is 2200 BC, it says. So here we go back, chapter 3. This is that famous Book of Mormon story where the brother of Jared and his friends and family have built these barges, kind of like, well, it says they're light as a dish, but they're all dark. They don't have any windows so that they won't get water in them in case they go under the waves. Well, Jared wants, the brother of Jared says, we don't want to go in the dark, so he says, I know, O Lord, thou hast all power. And prays. He says, touch these stones. Now he's cut out some stones. He did molten out of the rock 16 small stones, and they were white and clear, even as transparent glass, and he did carry them in his hands upon the top of the mountain, and cried again unto the Lord, saying, and here's this long prayer of how fallen our nature is. Then he just says, please touch them. Touch them so that they will shine. So that then they will shine forth unto us in the vessels which we have prepared, that we may have light while we shall cross the sea. Let's go to verse 6. And it came to pass that when the brother of Jared had said these words, behold, the Lord stretched forth his hand and touched the stones one by one with his finger, and the veil was taken off the eyes of the brother of Jared, and he saw the finger of the Lord, and it was as the finger of a man, like unto flesh and blood. And the brother of Jared fell down before the Lord, for he was struck with fear. Now the Lord knows everything, we believe, but here it says, the Lord saw that the brother of Jared had fallen to the earth, and he says, arise, why hast thou fallen? Jared said, I was afraid you'd smite me till I saw your finger. The Lord says, because of thy faith thou hast seen that I shall take upon me flesh and blood, and never has man come before me with such exceeding faith as thou hast. For were it not so, ye could not have seen my finger. Ye's actually a plural, but Joseph Smith didn't know that apparently. Sawest thou more than this? And he answered, Nay, Lord, show thyself unto me. And the Lord said, Believest thou the words which I shall speak? And he answered, Yea, Lord, I know that thou speakest the truth, for thou art a God of truth, and canst not lie. Well, the Lord showed himself to him. And the Lord showed himself unto him. And he said, Because thou knowest these things, you are redeemed from the fall. Therefore you are brought back into my presence. Therefore I show myself to you. Now he introduces himself. Tells him this, Behold, I am he who was prepared from the foundation of the world to redeem my people. Behold, I am Jesus Christ. I am the Father and the Son. Ouch, what happened? And the Son. That's right. Behold, I am Jesus Christ. I am the Father and the Son. In me shall mankind have life. Now, verse 15. And never have I showed myself unto man, whom I have created. For never has man believed in me as thou hast. Seest thou that thou art created after mine own image? Yea, even all men were created in the beginning after mine image. Okay, so here we have it. And never have I showed myself unto man, whom I have created. For never has man believed in me as thou hast. Again, verse 9. And the Lord said unto him, Because of thy faith thou hast seen that I shall take upon me flesh and blood, and never has man come before me with such exceeding faith as thou hast. For were it not so, you couldn't have seen my finger. If you hadn't had more faith than anybody's ever had in the history of the world, you could have never seen me, and nobody's ever seen me before, ever. Verse 15. 2200 BC. 1,000 years after Enoch had such great faith that he moved mountains, moved rivers, talked with the Lord face to face, lived with him for 365 years in the city of Zion with all of his people, and had the Lord appear to them when they met at the valley of Adam-on-Diamond. They went back to Missouri after they'd been in Zion for 240 years, according to Joseph Smith's revelation. All these scriptures come by direct revelation from God to Joseph Smith. The Book of Mormon testifies that no one has ever seen him until 2200 BC. Ether chapter 3, verses 9 and 15. Moses chapter 7, verse 4. Enoch saw him face to face. Several other verses there. The Lord lived with them. The Lord appeared to them, ministered unto them personally at Adam-on-Diamond when Adam was 927 years old. Well, if this is true, then the other two accounts can't be true. If he's telling the truth and cannot lie in the Book of Mormon. If the other true accounts are true in the Book of Moses and by direct revelation of Joseph Smith in section 107, then this is not true. And Joseph Smith said the Lord declared that this book was true. It was the most correct book on earth. In fact, section 20 of the Doctrine and Covenant says it contains the fullness of the gospel, even though it doesn't contain most of the doctrines that Mormons are most known for, such as eternal marriage, 3 degrees of glory, baptism for the dead, polygamy, etc. Well, I actually condemn polygamy. Anyway, I'm going to end this particular video and continue with some of these topics in detail, possibly a little bit later. Probably take up with Moses chapter 7 and get into that vision and experience with the Lord that Enoch had, which goes along with this, saying, "Behold, I am Jesus Christ. I am the Father and the Son." And we'll take a look at who's actually talking to Enoch in his face-to-face visit. I'll give us a clue. He was speaking about his only begotten Son, so it must have meant he was the Father. And later he starts talking as if he's the Son. What's up with that? There's a number of other scriptural references and doctrinal statements that you touch upon for that. For now, I'm going to end this.